Hi, I'm sorry. I just want to mention the fact that, aren't you forgetting that Russia with Gorbachev and America with Ronald Reagan, they got together, and it's about to time that we help each other to get rid of the atomic weapons, constantly arguing and fighting with each other. And Ronald Reagan asked Russia to give up, remove the war in Germany, which was quite a big decision, and he agreed to that. And the only thing they asked...
Well, you've got a very strange memory of history there. He didn't agree to that at all. It was the East German people that knocked it down.
No, the thing is, if Russia had said, no, we are not going to agree to have the war done, it would have never happened. The whole arrangement was a fantastic arrangement between Russia and America.
That's not what happened. That is not what happened, Terry. You're right that Mikhail Gorbachev decided not to intervene, but if you're seriously suggesting that it was him that promoted the demolition of the Berlin Wall, it did not happen.
The thing is, he could have refused. He could have said, no, we are not going to accept this.
He could have sent in the troops, you're right. Yeah. He could have sent in his army, you're right, and he didn't.
So there was an arrangement, a suitable arrangement, which suited, we put an end to all this argument and everything. The only thing Russia asked from West and Europe and America, do not allow NATO come to our borders. And then somebody like Zelenskyy comes along and he wants to join NATO. And there's so many people, innocent people getting killed, they're displayed for what?
For an invasion by a foreign power, that's for what?
They had to do Russia.
It's not an invasion. Terry, I'm not interested in hearing your views anymore. If you think that was not an invasion, what do you think hundreds of thousands of Russian troops going over the Ukrainian border was if it wasn't an invasion?
No. What I'm just saying, if you suddenly find Iran come over to Scotland and threaten England, what would you do?
What? Are you completely deranged?
I'm just saying, how can you possibly turn around and blame everything on the West and Russia when there is...
Who invaded Ukraine? Which country invaded Ukraine?
Russia.
Exactly.
They had no right to do that. But you've got to remember, you can only push people so far, and they say, look, this is it. We came along, we made arrangements. That was there was end of USSR. We gave them freedom, everything they wanted. All we asked for, please keep away from our borders. Now, what can you say to that?
I don't know where to start. I mean, people like you really live among us, don't you? I mean, the fact is, if Ukraine wanted to join NATO, it should have been allowed to put in an application. You've got other states like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, all bordering Russia. They were all members of NATO, and yet Ukraine, for some reason, people like you shouldn't have. You think it shouldn't have even been allowed to apply. I wonder what you think, whether we should be allowed to apply to join international organisations if one other country thinks we shouldn't. Honestly, Terry, people like you make me absolutely sick.
Well, I would thought that it's something make a decision that the Prime Minister is making, that he at least consult Parliament and have a vote on it.
Well, I'm sure he probably will.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. If the British public want us to go to possibly have a punch-up in the Russian with the peacekeeping, an army that's armed to the teeth to prevent war breaking out or intrusion breaking out, then, of course, if the country agrees with it, then the country agrees with it. But I don't think it would.
Well, I think, judging by a YouGov poll which was taken about a month ago, 58% of people either somewhat supported or strongly supported Britain being involved in a peacekeeping force, and only 21% opposed it. Now, I don't think public opinion will have changed an awful lot over that time.
No, but the point I'm making is that surely Parliament, our Parliament, should have a say in this, and he should come back and have a vote on it and see whether the whole of the whole Parliament agrees with what he wants to do.
Well, nobody said that there won't be a debate or a vote in Parliament.
That's my only comment. Let's hope he does.
I mean, Parliament isn't sitting this week, so it can't be this week, but I think it is back next week.
Well, the war will go on. They'll wait for us to come back from our holidays. I'm sure that the Ukrainians will wait,
Well, yeah, I mean, you're being sarcastic there,
No,
presumably.
I'm saying, I mean, I don't see that there's a time. I mean, okay, Parliament may not be able to meet until it comes back, but I'm sure when it comes back they'll have a vote, and it will be in time to decide what they do. There's no rush at the moment.
And if Parliament did support UK involvement in a peacekeeping force, you would be satisfied?
No, I wouldn't be satisfied, because I don't think fighting over a bit of land is letting lots of... I think you ought to ask the Ukrainian mothers and fathers whether they want their sons to fight and die over a piece of land.
Well, we know, you mean their country, that's what you mean. We know that they do support that because any polling, whether it's at the beginning or whether it's in the last few months, shows that the Ukrainians are fully behind the effort to defeat the Russians.
We've never seen, never on your programme has it ever given definitive casualties in the Ukraine, young men and women that have died in this war. Perhaps they should be published that a bit more and see what the public think about it.
Well, the Ukrainians haven't published those figures,
exactly.
So how can I mention them on my show if they haven't published them?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know that. I'm sure it can be got at. I'm sure you have the facility in your organisation to find that out.
Well, not if the Ukrainians don't publish it. No, we haven't. For obvious reasons.
Okay, fair enough. Can't get it. But I should think it's quite a number of people.
Well, I imagine it's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think that's it goes against the grain that hundreds of thousands of people die when there could be some sort of peace arrangement there that they might agree to.
Well, that sort of attitude wouldn't really have served us very well in 1940, would it, when people were saying that we should sue for peace with Hitler?
I've been alive 85 years. I was around. The bombs were falling when I was in my mother's arms in the shelters. I know all about 1940. So please, that's an entirely different situation. It means nothing.
It's not.
Thank you very much.
Not. We were about to be invaded. We were being bombed. The Ukrainians have been invaded by a foreign power that wants to take over their country. And presumably then, if you supported Britain fighting back against Hitler in 1940, I fail to understand why you can't understand why the Ukrainians would want to protect their own country now. And answer came there, none. Are you going to answer that, Michael? Okay, goodbye.